Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls all around the world. It's once again time for the WADcast, episode number 119. I am one of your hosts, Josh, joined with me, as always, by
The one who was
guide.
on time tonight, trying
Suck
to
it.
get everything going. You
Trying to get
poor
everything
tired
going.
boy.
You have like literally one job, and that's show up, Brandon. If we don't count everything else you do during the week.
Yeah.
And for the sake
And I
of my
was here.
argument, we're not going to count all that. But yes, I
Either way,
got caught up
happy
in an
Friday,
app.
everybody. Anyway, so yeah, we're here, and yeah, I guess got a few things to discuss. It will not be a very long show tonight. But
we're
we are
doing
here.
it.
So even when we're completely exhausted and drained, we're still here doing it. Hence why we're here tonight, because Josh is exhausted and drained, but he's a trooper. Anyway, so we don't really have time for niceties. That joke would not go over well with today's audience. But so like we're going to just like
today's audience is the same as every other audience in history.
Yeah. I was
literally the same people.
I said I was going to say that you were a little tardy, but I was going to throw the RE in front of it.
Well,
but I don't think that would go over well with some people.
Yeah, because they'd be like, it only happened once for Josh.
In all fairness, when I'm not able to make the show, it's because I am working.
Yes, that
medical
is true.
Sucks, man. Medical absolutely sucks. And the only times I miss the show is when I absolutely can't. And I think there was actually one time I took an extended break at work so we could do the show.
Yeah.
Like, because I was working like back to back, like almost like 80-hour weeks at one point. And I told him, like, yeah, listen, guys, you guys are taking away from my Friday nights, so I'm going to be in the car from 7 to 8, and then I had to go back to work.
Oh, that was quite the episode.
But anyway, oh yeah. Didn't someone try to get my attention at work while I was doing the show?
Yeah.
They learned really quick. Don't do that.
Oh, the memories.
Oh, man. And despite my demeanor, I have not a single write-up at my job. No offenses, no nothing. I'm actually very highly praised at my job. As moody as I can be at times. But either way, moving on from us and our exhaustion and work lives and all that stuff, there's been a few things that have actually come up this week in film. First off, we've discussed this before, why people are so afraid of certain things.
Mm-hmm.
And even in 2023, homophobia is still a massive thing. It's like, if not homophobia, definitely a severe intolerance towards the towards the homosexuality in general. The Last of Us came out, episode 3. Yeah. Episode 3 of The Last of Us, centered around Frank and Bill, who in the video games you would not know that they were lovers. There's Frank is given an entire episode when in the game he's only mentioned, and you see him, but you see him when he's hanging from like a rafter or something. That's how you meet Frank. You hear about him, but that's how you meet him. And there's an option where you can read a note. And I think if I remember, it's been a few years since I played the game, but because the game came out in like 2013, I think. But there's an option, I believe, where you can pick up a note and hand it to Bill. And if you do that, that is when Bill reads the note and you find out, in fact, that they were in a relationship. So that's the only thing that we have of Bill and Frank in the game. Now in the episode, it's a 75-minute episode dedicated to these two. I think it's 75 minutes, right? Or is it like only 60 minutes?
One.
It was a long episode.
Yeah.
But it's dedicated to the storyline behind Frank and Bill. And people have just attacked this episode, talking about how we don't need that in our faces, this, that, the other thing. And all I can say and think of is I really hope that these people stick around for. And first off, I hope this show goes into another season.
Mm-hmm.
I hope the show expands on more of the game's universe, because if that happens, there's going to be a lot of pissed off people, very uncomfortable watching Ellie have a relationship with women.
Yeah.
Because Ellie, surprise, in the game is gay. So they're going to have plenty of it, like, crammed down their throats for for a little bit. But yeah,
remember, if
just
it's the ladies, it's hot, so it's okay.
The whole tit for tat thing, I don't get it. Like, this is acceptable, this is not. Like, you and I were talking earlier this morning,
Mm-hmm.
about the movie Kids.
Yeah.
That movie is absolutely critically acclaimed. People talk about how they watched this movie when they were younger, and it's such a great movie.
Except me.
Then 2 years ago, Cuties comes out. Was it 2 years ago?
Yeah, it's been a couple years.
Whatever it was. Huh?
I said, yeah, it's been a couple years. It's like, hold on, let me search for the last time people were calling me, really awful things just for watching a movie.
Yeah. But I remember someone on Facebook I saw, like, talk about how, and this is a person who I mentioned on this movie group that I was going to watch Cuties so we could discuss it on our show.
Mm-hmm.
You and I both were going to watch it to discuss it on the show.
Yeah.
And how many comments did you see on my post where I was being called a pedophile for watching this movie? People.
Many I saw.
Some of those very same people, huh?
I said, I was saying I saw many comments where people made speculations about your predispositions for.
Yeah,
a lot of people called you a pedo.
And that's what cracks me up, because there are a few people that kind of gave me shit that are still in the group that I saw not too long ago talk about the movie Kids, and I'm thinking, like, Kids is so much worse. Kids starts off, and as I said in our conversation earlier today, Kids starts off with a 13-year-old girl having sex, and she's only wearing her training bra. Yeah, you don't see anything from below the waist, thankfully, but it's like it's not a comfortable scene to open a movie on, because that is the opening scene of Kids. And then towards the end, you have a character who pretty much rapes a woman, a girl, and takes your pants off, and you see everything from the waist down. At the time, that actress was 17 years old filming that scene. Those are kids. Cuties, they're kids too, but if the thing that's going to set you off is girls twerking, which is not comfortable to watch at all, but we had to watch it for our show to discuss it. Yeah, I don't prefer to ever really see either one of those two movies again. I don't think I ever will. I have no reason to, and no interest in doing so. But it's one of those deals where this tit for tat, this is acceptable because this is critically acclaimed, but this is mass outrage. If Kids came out today, there would be a shit ton of outrage over it. It would be this disgusting, vile movie that no one would want to watch, and if you watch it, you're, I guess, a pedophile. I don't know. It'd be the same shit. But I guess because of it being a product of its time, it's grandfathered into being a good movie. I don't know.
It's hard to say.
But there's that, and there's one more thing I do want to say before I cut it over to you. Everybody, happy Black History Month. We've been in it for a few days now, but yeah, we are on day, what's today, the 3rd?
Today is the 3rd.
So we're 3 days in. So happy Black History Month, everybody. Hope you watch some movies and learn a little bit about Black history. And yeah, that's what I got.
Does it count if I watched a Bill Murray movie?
I don't know if it's me or if it's you or what, but it just sounds like you're breaking up here, like it's like robotic. Give me a second here.
It's you. It is definitely you.
I don't know what the hell. Like I've got like plenty of service in this. I've got full service here. A second. I'm so terrified to switch this over to Wi-Fi. You start using the actual laptop and or desktop and get a camera for it already.
Mm-hmm. Wired
Okay.
connections, man. That's where it's at. And we lost him. And we brought him back. Resurrected. I guess we're kind of still a couple of months away from that holiday. But yeah, yesterday was Groundhog Day. Again. So I watched Groundhog Day. You know, there's a lot of there's a lot of Christmas movies out there, a lot of Halloween movies. So they're called seasons, right? You know, you watch them for the season. I'm gonna watch Christmas movies for the Christmas season. Yes, I am one of those people, and I say it exactly like that every year. I'm going to watch Halloween movies during October. Yeah. Again, I say it just like that every time I talk about it. But when we get these little one-off holidays, I'd like to think that we should take a little time and watch the movie that's dedicated to them. So yesterday, I watched the Harold Ramis classic. Yeah, Harold Ramis classic. Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
Turned it on for the kids, and yeah, it still holds up. It's what, 30 years old this year?
Yeah. It's an old movie. It's still an amazing movie, and Andy McDowell looks amazing in that as always. So
It's I don't know why every year I watch it, because I watch it every year. Of course, you have to. Every year I watch it, I always get surprised by just how dark it actually is.
oh yeah, no, it's a very sad movie. Like it's if at its core, it's a very depressing movie. It's hysterical. But I mean, just imagine like how long it took for Bill Murray to learn everyone's name, everything about their lives, learn how to play piano, learn that like that card trick of flawlessly getting cards in a hat across the room. I mean,
ice sculpting,
yeah, all of it. I mean,
French.
it got funny all the times that he tried to die. That part was hysterical.
Mm-hmm.
But then, like with the homeless man, no matter what he does with the homeless man, that is that man's night to die. That's when he's going to die. So he ends up resigning himself to knowing that this is this man's last night on earth. So he takes him out for dinner.
I wonder. I just that thought that you're living the same day over and over again, and then you find somebody whose last day it is. Do you continue to actively try to get yourself out of this time loop, or do you essentially make this guy live forever with you on the last day of his life?
I mean, the guy was in poor health. I would just like let him put himself out of his misery. I mean, I don't know. It's like that guy was really the homeless guy. He was sick, man. He was coughing and everything else. Like, I mean, he was in bad shape. So, yeah, I don't know if I'd make him live like that forever. But I mean, I would go insane waking up to "I Got You, Babe" by Sonny and Cher every single morning.
At least you'd know it's time to wake up.
Yeah, it'd piss me off.
I mean, I wake up to the same Less Than Jake song every day, so.
At least it's not Creed.
It's funny you mentioned that. I started thinking if improv groups, were really, thinking about it, instead of doing we're going to improv a song, give us a styling and they would just make every song a Creed song.
Oh God. Well, it's because Creed isn't original. The guy took his vocal cues from the Swedish Chef from the Muppets. Like they play the same chords over and over and over again in every song. The only parts that are actually acceptable in those songs are when you actually hear the guitar riff when he's actually using the pick, and that's the only time it's actually worth listening to because he has some amazing guitar work. But outside that, it's just like it's the same stuff over and over again to me. And then someone like Scott Stapp, like he's not a good singer. He's really not.
Remember the time he challenged Fred Durst to a boxing match?
Oh, and Fred Durst was ready to go.
I'm like, all right, we have some musical heavyweights ready to go at it in the ring.
Well, I mean, here's the difference between Fred Durst and Scott Stapp. Okay, Fred Durst, he will actually get into a fight with men. Scott Stapp, he will get into a fight with women, half his size. I would love to see that fight. I would love to see that happen, just for the beat your ass factor. But I believe Stapp actually ended up being diagnosed with being bipolar or schizophrenic, or so I forget what it was, but it was something pretty bad. That was left untreated for years. But on top of that, alcoholism, because he was a heavy drinker while he was the frontman for this Christian rock band.
Yeah, I was gonna say Christian rock band.
While he was also beating his wife behind the scenes. Yay, Christianity! Yeah.
This is the WADcast.
Oh God!
It is a podcast.
And then when when Creed covered one of my favorite songs, "The Last Kiss," I was so pissed off.
You shouldn't be, because that was Pearl Jam.
No, Creed covered it too. At one of the concerts I was dragged out to, Creed actually covered "The Last Kiss." I was so pissed off. Like I already didn't like Creed to begin with, but this is like 2003, I think 2002, 2003. I go to this concert, and then I hear that it's like, now Pearl Jam, they did a great job covering "The Last Kiss." Pearl Jam did an awesome job. But I heard two covers that absolutely pissed me off: "The Last Kiss" and "I'm 18" by Alice Cooper. Because each time, like, this is pretty much what he sounded like. Like, dude, you can open your mouth when you sing.
Was that supposed to be Scott Stapp or Eddie Vedder?
No, that was Scott Stapp. Eddie Vedder is just like, you can at least understand him with "The Last Kiss." That's the one song you can really understand everything he's saying.
Where can my baby be?
We are not talking about anything film related at all right now, outside of Fred Durst being a director of film. Well, no, Creed was on a soundtrack.
They've all had music videos, which took.
Jesus. Yeah, I mean, Creed. I guess Creed is a band. They're all good actors because they act like they're actually a good band. So,
well, the rest of the band, minus Scott Stapp, went on to form Alter Bridge.
Oh, that's right.
Who are still touring.
Yeah.
Without Scott Stapp.
Yeah. Alter Bridge isn't much better.
I'm sure they're like on the tour, but I was like, remember when we were Creed and made like millions of dollars?
Yeah, remember that guy that always wore a tank top that was 10 sizes too small for him? Like, he's got the tribal cross in his arm.
Scott Stapp was like quintessential late 90s rock guy.
Can we say like late 90s wannabe rock guy? That guy had about as much talent singing Creed as a drunk guy at a karaoke bar does. And he was the singer for Creed. I've heard drunk people actually match him in voice at karaoke. I have mocked Creed at karaoke by barely even moving my mouth when I sing their songs Then I had people applauding me, saying, "Oh my god, you sound just like him." I'm like, "Oh wow." I was going for more for the Swedish Chef, but yay!
Dude, you sound just like Creed. You want to fight or something? Is that what you're trying to do here?
I mean, you know what? At least it's like not like Nickelback, where it sounds like he's trying to take a shit every time he sings. I mean, Creed and Nickelback, that would be my hell, back to back all day long. Anyway, coming away from music because we are the WADcast. The music is, I guess, like the W in Oddcast.
Yeah, it has to be written, right?
Yep. Yeah. I don't. Did Creed ever really write their songs, or they just go out there and start singing something one day and like, after they got famous, everyone forgot their music because their music's that forgettable, and then they would just like wrote down their own lyrics really quick and then release a CD.
That's what I was saying. When it comes to that particular style, it doesn't take much thought. You can just freestyle the songs, and take a look. Hold on. We have a bottle, something about Jesus. It's half empty. That's Creed.
Are we singing while we're drinking something?
Well, I was
To
thirsty.
the sound of Creed? I could do that,
John chat is
Favorite
trying
soundtrack.
to bring this back around to our wheelhouse for us.
All right, we will do this, but let me try this really quick since we're making fun of Creed here. Arizona, the only green tea that I like. It tastes really good.
Jesus.
I swear, low, it goes right down my throat and goes into my gut. Okay, moving on. Enough Creed. We spent way too much time on Creed tonight. For an episode that was like a half hour late, you and I are just like going balls to the wall against Creed here. So let's just move on from Scott Stapp and everyone else. Alter Bridge, guys, I'm joking. You're mostly okay. Now,
and people are allowed to like what they like. So
they are allowed to like what they like. I just don't really care for Creed or Alter Bridge or Nickelback. But anyway, moving on.
What is your favorite soundtrack? What is your favorite film soundtrack?
My favorite soundtrack, I would honestly have to say, Funny People. Now, there's older soundtracks I really love. Okay. I love the sound. Like, I love the soundtrack to Analyze This, and by Harold Ramis's film. Ghostbusters actually has some good music on it, but I would have to say Top Gun, just because of some of the things that are on it. I really like the music on the Top Gun soundtrack, but right now, largely Funny People is my all-time favorite soundtrack because I think Judd Apatow really has a talent for getting the music to absolutely match the feeling for what is happening in each scene in his movies. He does a great job with it. And I think Funny People, for being an adaptation of a loose adaptation of The Great Gatsby, did a phenomenal job with the soundtrack choices. What about you, Josh?
Oh gosh, so many.
Nothing
movies. Creed. What's that?
I'm joking. Go ahead. I said nothing Creed. Go ahead.
You know what? I don't think my favorite anything has Creed in it. So chalk up another one for the WADcast. Let's see. There's Always Be My Maybe.
Okay.
Because it's got those tracks from Hello Peril.
Okay. Oh yeah. All right.
Randall Parks, and Best Believe a Punch Keanu Reeves. It's like, yeah. That got me into the whole genre of music. That jazzy hip hop thing. It was pretty rad.
Yeah.
And then another soundtrack that kind of brought things to my attention was 10 Things I Hate About You with Letters to Cleo and St. Ferris.
Yeah. No, they actually had some good stuff on that soundtrack. Yeah, you're right. Okay.
Cruel to Be Kind was really good.
Your Winter, Sissel Hazel was pretty good.
And
they had a few things on there.
I Want You to Want Me, the cover.
Yeah. It was actually okay. That was a decent cover. Yeah. How about the soundtrack for the Batman? Just Something in the Way on repeat the entire time. Not really, but that was pretty much the entire movie, though.
For the Batman. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I had to differentiate because I'm like, wait, Batman. There was a lot of that was Prince.
No,
Prince
no,
did
no,
that.
no. I'm talking about the newest one, the Robert
You said
Pattinson
the
one.
Batman. Yes.
The entire movie, it's just like the theme was not the Batman theme. It was Something in the Way by Nirvana. Just the strumming two chords. That was the music for almost the entire damn movie constantly.
That was the musical theme.
I don't get it. Like, I mean, I thought the movie was pretty good. I was hesitant to watch it, but I enjoyed it. I remember seeing something on Facebook about seeing the Batman soundtrack in symphony or in orchestra. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. We'll get to hear Something in the Way on repeat for 3 hours. All right.
You said two chords, right? Batman. Batman. Batman.
Hey, Samuel,
Batman.
play Something in the Way by Nirvana.
Oh, don't do that.
Something in the Way by Nirvana on Amazon Music.
Thank you, Samuel L. Jackson.
Here
That's it.
comes the Batman.
Hey, Samuel, stop. That's all it was. That's all it was.
Forrest Gump soundtrack was really good. A lot of it.
No, Forrest Gump. I actually didn't think that was really good. But you know what cracks me up with those movies that take place around like the Vietnam era? No, I know Forrest Gump takes place over like years and decades, but
everybody loved Creedence.
Creedence. If not Creedence, it was like Ball of Confusion by the Temptations.
Yeah.
I mean, there's very specific songs that people use when they want to convey Vietnam.
Fortunate Son.
Like, and it's just like I know that they want to try to keep with the music of that time and that era. I get that, I do.
But everybody was listening to the same radio station.
I know, and
at the same time.
And I get the time. Like, you know, the radio had very limited music for that time that really spoke out about Vietnam, but it didn't. They were like, look at all of what do you call it?
Doors,
yeah, the Doors. There is so much music that discussed and dissected Vietnam, but all these movies, they stick to like this limited range, you know, to get that feeling out there. You hear the same thing over and over again in these movies.
Well, it was a decade that was, you know, very much defined by the music in it.
Yes, but there was an independent film I was watching. Like, it was a short film, but it was about a guy that was trapped while fighting the Viet Cong. And of all songs, I was thinking, like, once music kicked in, I read the description of the movie before I watched it. I'm like, oh, this is going to be Creedence Clearwater Revival. Nope. The guy put in the song The Rooster by Alice in Chains. And I got to say, it fit. Now, I don't think the guy could ever make money because I know sure as hell he definitely most likely did not have permission from Alice in Chains to use The Rooster. Although I feel like they would appreciate it because that song was very much about the guy's dad in Vietnam and his experiences in coming home from Vietnam. But it fit. He didn't use the vocals or anything like that. He just used the music. And I recognized music. I'm like, oh my God, like it just added so much tension to this scene, knowing exactly what song it was and looking at everything happening around him. I'll have to find this movie. I'll send it to you. It's on YouTube somewhere. It's really good.
Yeah,
but
music cues can be awesome.
Oh yeah. But no, soundtracks are everything when it comes to movies.
I think one of my favorite scenes from a music-based scene in a movie that's not a musical is probably Southland Tales.
Okay.
When Justin Timberlake does all the things that I've done from the Killers.
Okay.
That music number type bit in the arcade. It's very surreal, very trippy, and fits the mood of the film perfectly. It has so much atmosphere, especially when he's just staring in the camera like. And that was the moment that I was like, I think I'm a Justin Timberlake fan now. Well, what? What did that happen?
Do that impression again.
I'm not a performer.
Let me hit record.
The purpose of the show is record. That's what we're doing.
Yeah, but I need this one section. So stop yapping and get to it.
Oh,
God, dude. Like, what the hell? Don't ask much of you. I just ask you to be punctual and be on time. Like, up in the night. You gotta stop. I'm a little turned on now. Like, this is kind of doing down, boy. This is like really. Listen, man. All right, family show. Stop being sensual, Josh. Stop. Okay. Like, if I had a squirt bottle and I had like a thing over my screen, I'd squirt you. But I can't.
John in the chat says creepy, and strangely enough, I don't know if he's talking about me or you.
Probably both.
We are a team.
We hear the guy say you would not want to approach you at a bar. Josh, don't look.
Don't mind him. He's just trying to get free drinks.
Oh God. Remember when I used to do this show after a few drinks?
I remember you doing the show during a few drinks.
I mean, I still do once in a while, but the thing is, I actually used to come into the show on a Friday night back where I worked the morning shift. I would have a few drinks, and then, so. But anyway, going back to everything, what are we doing? We are doing what we do best, which is just random stuff. So, moving on with things. Now, there's some other stuff that actually happened this week. Get 1 second. Let me actually pull this up here. I had this pulled up as one of these. This one. Yes. Okay. There's a talking point I wanted to bring up because I mentioned it to you earlier this morning. That's who it was. Okay, that's right. All right. We lost a what I consider a horror icon because he worked on two of my favorite franchises, Halloween and Ghostbusters. He passed away yesterday. George P. Wilbur, stuntman, actor, really cool dude. Got to meet him a few times, like I told you. Like, really nice guy, but passed away yesterday. So, yeah. Rest in peace, George P. Wilbur.
That's sad.
I was actually pretty bummed about that. Like, he wasn't just a hell of a stuntman in his career. He was also, like, the times I met him, he was a really cool dude. Really nice guy. Easy to talk to. Would spend time actually just, shooting the shit. Really great dude. Got to meet him at, I think, a horror convention and then another horror convention, but this one I was working. So just got a little bit more time to really just talk and chat and shoot the shit with him. But yeah, he passed away yesterday morning. I know George P. Wilbur.
Why don't you list some of the things that
Google
he's...
Well, I'm familiar most with him is Halloween 4 and 5, I believe, and he was also in like one of the stuntmen for Ghostbusters. You looking up his IMDb and his list of achievements?
Not exactly. No, that's the wrong button for sure.
But
we'll click. No, we'll click this. And
what are you clicking?
You know what I'm clicking. The mouse. Get your head out of the gutter.
I wasn't even. I meant like, what are you clicking? As in like a link, Josh. My lord. Usually you're the one that reels us in and keeps us family friendly to an extent. We're never family friendly, but you know
what? That takes preparation. Tonight, I didn't get any.
No, you woke up, rolled over, and went to work.
Yeah. That's exactly what happened.
That's why I don't know if you heard it, but when you were getting set up before our show, I was playing "Calling In Sick" by Weird Al Yankovic.
I did hear that.
Okay,
And
that was for you.
thank you.
So, but anyway, so
hold on. Talk
okay.
about this guy.
We want to give him a eulogy.
Well, this just isn't working out the way I'm wanting it to. So I'm going to have to move this over here. And then we're going to... There we go. That's the guy.
Yep, that's him.
So, rest in peace, George P. Wilbur. I pressed a button. I did something wrong here.
Yep, that's him. Yeah, like I said, I got to meet him a few times. He's a really, really cool dude. I was actually just about as bummed with his passing as I was when Steve Dash passed away. Steve Dash is another actor that portrayed a horror icon in Jason Voorhees in Friday the 13th Part 2. So, and he grew to be a buddy of mine. He knew my friend Rick Mayo, who passed away about 10 years ago. But through Rick, I got to have a conversation with Steve, and I ended up actually being able to really meet the guy and just sit down and have a conversation with him. Great dude. When he passed away, I was actually really bummed about that. You know, I was so happy to have like Jason Voorhees send me like happy birthday messages on Facebook, or, you know, just wishing me well, and same in return. He was a really cool guy. So with George Wilbur, like that actually really upset me a little bit. Like, he was such a nice guy. It's a shame to hear that he passed away. So, but yeah. And speaking of passing away, can we address something really quick? I finally,
I'm like dead on the inside.
I watched everything in Black Panther 2. I watched it.
Okay, yeah, it only took 4 months, but sure.
I haven't had time. I've been like a dude, like the everything else, like me watching a single movie hasn't really happened.
Come on.
But I still want to say that it was a mistake not to recast Chadwick Boseman, as amazing an actor as Chadwick Boseman was, and what he did for that role. I still look at that as being a mistake and not recasting the character. The movie was good. The movie was good. It touched quite a bit on grief, loss, and everything else, coping. I just, to have an actor actually pass away and to have a character that they portrayed pass away off screen, I look at that as being, I don't know. The Black Panther was a character they set up because of Chadwick Boseman. He built a whole entire world through his character and his portrayal as T'Challa. That I just watched the movie. I'm like, God, yeah, sure, he's a new Black Panther. That's fine. Like, she did the same thing that she has almost the exact same character arc as Black Panther did in Civil War, where she's out for vengeance. She's out for blood. Like the second her mom dies, like she is out for blood against Namor. Like, she's ready to kill him. And she says the same thing that Black Panther said at the end of Civil War, where but it was like a little flip version where she says, "Vengeance has consumed us, but we cannot let it consume our people." And what was that? I think Civil War, he says, vengeance has consumed you, when he's talking to, I can't think of the character's name. Then he says, but I'm done letting it consume me. Like, I like the switch of that. I really did. I thought that was good, but it just felt like, completely writing out T'Challa, who had so many stories to tell. You could have still eventually made Shuri the next, Black Panther, because that does happen.
Yeah.
I think they just kind of, I don't know. I felt like they did more disrespect to Chadwick Boseman's memory by just doing what they did. As far as like he died off screen. Here's a quick funeral. Time to move on now. We're gonna deal with the grief and all that stuff, but I don't know. Like it's just, I like the original concept of what they were going to do for the Black Panther, and yeah, it's just like it just felt like it could have been a hell of a story to tell with that character. And I mean, here's the other side of that coin. William Hurt passed away, who played Thunderbolt Ross, right?
Mm-hmm.
He passed away this past year, and they've already recast that character with Harrison Ford.
Right.
Now, William Hurt is not a major player. Has not been in the MCU. He played the antagonist in Crime. Well, I don't know. What would you consider him in The Incredible Hulk? Would you consider him like an antagonist, or would you consider him like, I guess, like the antagonist for the first half of the movie, and then Abomination, the antagonist for the second half of the movie?
He's definitely a foil.
So yeah, he's not a good guy, and he's in his own mind he's good. But when he passed away, they're going to replace him with Harrison Ford so he could do the Thunderbolts.
Mm-hmm.
Harrison Ford, I guess, is going to be like the Red Hulk. But I'm looking at this thinking like, well, I mentioned someone in a movie group like, well, I don't see why they would replace this character, but not this character. Like, oh, well, because he was in all these movies and William Hurt wasn't. Like, William Hurt was. William Hurt was a constant throughout the MCU in the first couple phases. He's been there throughout. Like he was one of the big bads in The Incredible Hulk. He had he had a few scenes like cut in throughout, a few times, but he was the other big bad, so to speak, I guess, in Civil War. Like the co-partner to being like the bad guy, because he was their obstacle. He was the one like getting away with a few things. He was there in Infinity War. Excuse me. So he's been there for a few films, and he's actually had more time on screen than Chadwick Boseman did. If not, probably just about the same amount.
What?
Chadwick Boseman, he had time on screen. He was pretty prominent throughout Civil War. He was there in Infinity War. He showed up at the end of Endgame at the very end. So he might have a little bit more screen time, but William Hurt and Chadwick Boseman, I look at them as pretty much being of the same importance to the MCU. William Hurt was like pulling strings from the government. Chadwick Boseman wasn't really pulling strings. I'm sorry, T'Challa wasn't pulling strings. He was just more like the off doing his own thing in Wakanda kind of deal.
Mm-hmm.
He's there to help when he can. William Hurt is...
Their screen time was similar.
Let me see real quick. Google it.
Our crack research team, Brandon, putting in the work here.
Yep.
Making sure we're accurate in his inane ramblings.
I might be wrong. I'm probably wrong. Let's see. Listen, how many times have we said something we had to correct ourselves afterwards?
Never.
Constantly.
Oh, that one. Yeah. I get the two mixed up. So I believe, if I'm not mistaken, we are looking up the screen times for T'Challa versus General Thunderbolt Ross.
So one time we got this cover came in handy, but they don't have what I need.
All right, you talk to the kids. I'll do some research.
Okay. Yeah, I just need to find out. I'm curious because I don't mind being wrong ever. I actually enjoy being wrong. But yeah. Anyway, so yeah. Anyway, everyone, that's really it. I'm trying to think. There was another topic I had to bring up, and I can't remember what it was. It was something. Probably nothing important, but then most times that we talk about certain subjects on the show, they're not really important. They're just kind of shooting the shit. And we did spend way too much way too much time going on about Creed earlier. That we gave Creed way too much attention. I don't regret it because they're fun to make fun of. So, yeah. Josh, unmute yourself. I need you to chime in here. I don't really know what to talk about without you. I get lost without you.
Oh, it's nice to feel needed.
Let me ask our third co-host here. Hey, Samuel.
Okay.
What are some hot topics in the film industry this week?
I don't know that.
Samuel's loose. He's completely useless. Anyway, so.
All right, so.
Bear with me. I'm going into the comments here because I'm John, thank you very much. I'm so sorry. I'm not trying to ignore you. I was like trying to do some brief research here. So I'm prepared to be completely wrong with this, but I still feel like they should have cast T'Challa regardless.
I have the answer.
Okay, go ahead. What were the comparisons in screen time? I'm sure I'm dead wrong.
T'Challa has. Hold on, let me pull his up again.
I mean, T'Challa also had his own movies, so there was that too.
1 hour, 4 minutes, and 45 seconds over 4 films.
That's it?
Of on-screen time.
Okay, and what about General Ross?
William Hurt has, over 4 films, a combined total of 18 minutes, 45 seconds of screen time.
I mean, I wasn't far off then.
Yeah, one well over an hour, and the other almost enough for a standard sitcom.
Hey, you know what? I'm good with it. I still think they should have recast. Now, and the other thing is William Hurt being recast by somebody. I mean, you know who I would have loved to see recast William Hurt? And it's not Harrison Ford.
Is it me?
It's Sam Elliott.
Oh.
Because Sam Elliott played Thunderbolt Ross back in the Ang Lee, Hulk movie in 2003. And I gotta say, like Sam Elliott, he was pretty damn good in that role. Now I know he's much older now because that movie's like 20 years old. And he was already old in that movie, but
he was old in Roadhouse.
I know. God.
Roadhouse.
But the thing is William Hurt was older when he played Thunderbolt Ross, so it's like I think that'd probably be a decent little. First off, a good callback.
Mm-hmm.
Second, Sam Elliott it's come on, it's Sam Elliott. Harrison Ford's good too. I don't mind Harrison Ford. Sam Elliott is just in my mind a much better actor than Harrison Ford is.
Well, yeah, Sam Elliott is an amazing actor.
I mean, Harrison Ford is like the white Dwayne Johnson to me. He has like a limit. He's got like a limited thing, like things that he does in acting. I mean, think about it, he never really was an actor before Star Wars.
He wasn't. That was
So
definitely.
I mean,
early on in his career.
Like Dwayne Johnson has like the eyebrow thing, and like he either looks like he's trying to figure out whether it's like going to be like a fart or a shit. So he's trying to decide what he's going to do. He looks angry. Like, yeah, it's like one or two eyebrows. Or he's got like that really big ass smile on his face. Like, there's really not a whole lot of a difference with Dwayne Johnson. His acting is just like it's Dwayne Johnson and everything. Harrison Ford is the same to me. It's Harrison Ford in everything. And Harrison Ford, instead of eyebrows, he does this one thing. He's always like just that's his thing. He's always pointing at something.
Witness.
So, oh yeah, The Witness. He shows some depth in that, but it's like even then, it's like I still look at Harrison Ford. I see Harrison Ford as Harrison Ford.
Regarding Henry.
Regarding him was pretty good too, but there's certain actors like I mean honestly like Adam, for me to say this I would never in my teenage years ever expect the adult me to say this. Adam Sandler has more depth than Harrison Ford does.
Get off my plane.
Yeah, I was waiting for that one.
I love that movie.
And the thing is they put him up against Gary Oldman. They put him up against Gary Oldman in Air Force One. Gary Oldman stole the damn show.
At least Gary Oldman. He's entitled to the show.
He is a show. If Gary Oldman was on this show, it'd be the Gary cast, not the WADcast.
We should never invite Gary Oldman on.
Invite him on for like 5 seconds. Welcome to the WADcast. We have our guest Gary Oldman. Gary Oldman's like, "Oh, hi, it's good to thank you, Gary."
Okay,
all right, back to the show.
You're getting carried away here. Bye, Gary.
Gary had to leave.
I was getting drawn in.
Oh,
Gary
God.
Oldman, please say more.
And then we're actually going to reach out to Gary Oldman's, representation at some point. He's going to be like, I watched your show. I saw what you guys said.
That he was so awesome.
And then we promised not to do it. We get him on the show, and then we get him on the show. We promise not to do it. We get him on the show, and then we still do it. We boot him off like the first 5 seconds of him being on the show. I would never do awesome. That.
Suddenly, the sign in the top corner over there is like the Gary cast. It's like I didn't do that; it just happened.
Yeah, our screen starts like just shivering and everything else, and then it's like Gary Oldman taking over the entire thing. Anyway, oh shit, it is getting to that point. Well past that point. Ladies and gentlemen, I got to go. I have to get ready to go to work. I really hate cutting the show off like shorter than I intended to, but it was also later than I intended it to be. Yeah. Josh?
Yeah.
All right, so I gotta go. Either way, listen, BJacksman1982 on Instagram, Twitter. I don't ever use Twitter, but someday I will. Facebook's just Brandon Junk. Yes, that is my real first and last name. I didn't choose it. My parents choose the name. I choose a nursing home. That's how it works for all of us. So that being the case, give me a follow. The WADcast on Facebook. WADcast. Let's see, Facebook.com/WADcast. Instagram's the same thing. You'll see this guy right here in the profile picture. Give us a like, give us a follow, chime in. Yeah, that's really it. Everybody, please have a safe and happy Friday night. John, I appreciate you chiming in. Greatly appreciate you chiming in, buddy. You have a great night, sir. Everybody that listens to this later on, have a great night. Josh, you do your final Full House style thoughts that you do with that unbearable elevator music that you love so much. But I got to go. All right. Bye.
Get out.
I will.
Yeah, do it. No, he did it. Oh. Let me just go to camera A here, which is basically just moving the camera. Okay, well, here we are. It's that time of day again. Time we say goodbye. But before we head out, don't forget to go to WADcast.com. That has all the links that Brandon was talking about. It has all the merch stuff there, too. The links to the merch. Like this cool hoodie. It says Wadco Media. You could have one, too. Or you could have a shirt that says The WADcast. Or 1021. Or TV Dinners. It's all there. Check it out. So, cue the music. There we go. There we go. Whew. I want to once again thank everybody for showing up tonight and listening to us. Just ramble and talk about all things writers, actors, directors. It's been a fun night. It's been a crazy night. I'll remember. And again, thank everybody for joining us. If you're listening to us at a later date, thank you for listening to the WADcast. But I'm going to close the show, as I always do, by delivering the message that I've delivered 118 times before. The only thing standing between you and your dreams is you. You got to stop making excuses. If you want to be a creator, be a creator. Guess what it takes? Start writing a pencil and paper, maybe a computer. Any of those things to get your ideas out there into the world. That's what it takes. If you want to be an actor, start acting. Find some lines, start reciting it in front of a camera. A camera can be on a phone. It's okay. If you want to direct, a same phone. Start getting that footage. Start editing some footage. Do it. Just do it. There's nothing standing in your way except you telling yourself that you can't do it. You didn't go to film school, so. You didn't go to screenwriter school. But all it takes is just the slightest bit of effort to get you started on your journey. And all you have to do is be willing to do it. And that don't cost a thing. All right. So this has been the WADcast, Writers, Actors, Writers Podcast, episode number 19. This is 119. Whew. So remember, we'll be here each and every week, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, right here, same WADcast time. See, he's already calling me. He's not even listening to the message. That's how much he hates the music. You're going to have to wait a minute, Brandon. So, again, thank you for joining us. We will be back next week, same time. Well, actually, a little bit earlier since somebody was late tonight. It was me. It was totally me. We'll see you next week.